Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, I want to dive into some of the most important charts that I have. We're going to be taking a look into the Bitcoin dominance, giving us a clear indication of where the rest of the altcoin market is headed. We're going to be taking a look at the total market cap as a whole to know exactly how high we think we can go by the time we end up topping at the end of this cycle, as well as finishing up by talking about Ethereum versus Bitcoin and why I expect that we're about to see the biggest push in the altcoin that we have ever seen. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and check out the Discord server of over 20,000 members and growing. Help me hit 21K today. You guys can do it. There's only a few slots available. Links are provided for you in the description to go ahead and sign up for that. On top of that, if you're new, just getting into these markets, maybe you made a lot of mistakes in the sell-off, I have a free ebook linked in the description that you guys can download that I know is going to help you guys out tremendously because it literally saved my profitability inside of the markets when I first started learning how to trade. So check it out. Links are provided for you in the description. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, now before we jump into the other charts for today's video, I wanted to talk about Bitcoin. Nothing has really changed from my last update. Regardless, we're literally in the exact same point in time. The big thing I wanted to point out to you guys is how confident that I am that the bottom is in. I'm very, very, very confident in saying that. I've believed that the low end was going to be 28K. We pretty much perfectly wicked off of that level. This has been a level that I've been watching for. I said as long as we were above 28K, there was literally zero reason to get bearish, be targeting new lows. And honestly, guys, I started seeing a ton of people in my Discord server. I started seeing a ton of people in the comment section on YouTube, on Twitter, all of these different places. They were calling for 19,600 or something like that. Where is that on the chart? Be like right here, pretty much just the previous high right before we broke out. I saw so many people calling for that, and it just amazes me how clueless most people are. When the market really starts to shift one way or another, everybody gets these delusional price targets one way or another. In this case, the market's been going down, so of course they're going to just talk about this potential nuke to nothingness, even though one of the funniest charts that one of my friends shared with me, shout out to Crypto Caesar on Twitter, he shared with me this chart that I want to just show with you guys real quick. He actually made his own chart. I'm just going to share with you guys the summarization of what he was explaining. Look at this, guys. Let's go back to the very first cycle here. Now, this is just a special little video, a little update just to give to the people that are really bearish, just to give to the people that are freaking out right now, and to give to the people that are sitting there calling for a $20,000 or sub $20,000 Bitcoin. I think these people are going to look real dumb before too long. So right here, guys. This was the first all-time high of the first cycle, right? Notice how we had this big run up here around April, right? We had this big breakout past the all-time highs. We first go into price discovery, and then we pull back a lot. And in fact, this pullback, you know, was probably pretty close to what we're seeing today. No, it was bigger. It was 80% pullback. But even though we saw one of the biggest pullbacks we've ever seen, especially inside of a summer sell-off, did this retest the all-time high? No, of course not. Look how far it was from retesting that all-time high. So there's just one example, right? Let's go all the way over to here and do the same thing. Here's the all-time high. Let's see if we ever ended up retesting that in the first breakout. Oh, look, we definitely did not retest that all-time high. So based off of every cycle up to this point, whenever we look, every single cycle, we've made a massive breakout past the all-time high and pulled back. That has happened every single time to a 100% accuracy. Now, when we say that, with that being said, we have never once touched the all-time high ever. Never once. Past the breakout, past the all-time high, the first big run up into price discovery, we have never once had a retest of that all-time high in that pullback. We've done it once, we've done it twice, and now we're doing it for a third time. Yet, for some reason, people are still saying that we're magically going to fall to 20,000. I just think that these people are delusional. These people don't have a solid trading plan, and these are the type of people that end up going all in on one thing and then wondering why they lost all of their money. It's just the same people that make the same dumb mistakes over again, but the problem is, you know, we don't care so much about these people that don't know what they're doing. That's not what's important, because we as a community do know what we're doing. We're making profit as we go. But the point I'm trying to make here is those people that know the very least talk the most. They're the people commenting on all of the stuff. They're the people that you're seeing talking about all these low potentials. They're the people sharing these crazy YouTubers with 10 subscribers that are sharing these doomsday prophecy scenarios. The people that know the least talk the very most. And this is something to understand. This is why, for me personally, I just ignore what goes on in the market. I try not to spend too much time on Twitter. I don't even hardly read any of the comments inside of my Discord. Private members I do, but when it comes to the free chat, I don't ever go in there at all. And the big reason for that is mainly just because when I go in there, it's always bombarded with a bunch of dumb questions. I can't even hardly connect with one person because there's too many people in there. But at the same time, it's mostly just a lot of questions, a lot of emotional people that really are not using logic to begin with. And so because of that, you guys got to remember that whenever you're hearing the crowd explain things from Bitcoin or altcoins or whatever, the majority of those people are wrong. Now, when it comes to following really good traders and analysts on Twitter, you're going to be able to find a lot bigger of a group of people that actually do have an idea of what's going on. And so that's not the greatest indicator to use, but chances are you've heard a lot of FUD. Chances are you've seen a lot of downside targets to 20K. And if you're somebody that hasn't been through a lot of these cycles, it's probably pretty scary to hear all of this stuff. I mean, chances are you had tons of profit up here, or if you just recently got in here and bought the top, you're down a lot, or if you had lots of profit, you lost a lot of your profit. And so these types of shakeouts happen, and when they happen, they're really good at completely getting everybody, all the weak hands specifically, out of the market. Now, this does not change anything in the big picture, guys. We have never once retested the all-time high after a breakout of the all-time high. Why is it magically going to do it right now? We are holding on to support of this previous move. Look at every single one of these wicks. Wick, 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 wick. Every single time we make an attempt to break below 28K, it gets bought up instantly. There is literally no reason to be bearish right now. So guys, that's Bitcoin. We know what the heck's going on there. Let's talk about Ethereum against Bitcoin, because here, guys, is literally the ultimate alt season indicator. If this chart is uptrending, we know what's happening with the altcoins. And the thing is, guys, I saw a lot of traders that were getting very, very, very bearish. They shorted the top, they made good profits, and then they started just making these outlandishly bearish predictions, calling ADA to like 70 cents, calling for this FBTC chart to come all the way back down here. Like, just a lot of funny nonsense that really just makes people more fearful than anything. I don't know if they're just purposely trying to fudge you guys out of your positions to actually fill their shorts or what. But I just see a lot of delusional people that aren't really making a whole lot of sense right now, which is to be expected. During the highest points of volatility, whether it's at the top of the cycle or the bottom of the cycle, there's not going to be very much logical thinking people going on in that time. And that's just the way emotional market cycles work. Everything is emotional. The majority of people investing here don't know what they're doing. They've heard from friends, they've seen friends make money, they've heard on YouTube, whatever it is. And so they're thinking to themselves, man, I really need to make a little bit more money for my retirement. I got to figure out what I'm doing. I got to make a little bit more money. I don't want to miss out on this opportunity. And so they buy, and then they just don't know what they're doing, right? And it's hard to make a profit if you don't have a solid plan. But that's why I make this channel and why I break the charts down for you guys, is with the highest hopes of making sure my community knows the bigger picture of what goes on. And the whole point of this video was just because I've been seeing a lot of crap on Twitter, a lot of stuff in the comment section, just a lot of emotional people that I can see are expressing the very telltale signs of somebody that either sold the bottom, is getting ready to sell the bottom, or is in just denial of the whole bull run entirely. And when we come over here, guys, and take a look at this chart, I wanted to share with you guys just some thoughts on why I think that you should be much more bullish now than ever before. So we're going to start from right here, September of 2018. This has been the range that ETH has been inside of. We've been rounding out for about 956 days. This is a base pattern. This is a rounded bottom formation. And you could also call it an inverse head and shoulder formation as well. We have all of the textbook examples to play out as far as that goes. And what recently happened, guys, is we broke our resistance. This was our big resistance here. This was our big level that we needed to break. This was pretty close to the previous all-time high in the last cycle. It became short-term support in 2017. It was resistance throughout the entire bear market. And then what recently happened, guys, was just over the last couple months, we had our first breakout past that level. And so I don't understand the big bearish sentiment right now on ETH BTC when we've just went through almost 1,000 days of accumulation and we just had our first breakout of that accumulation. I don't understand the big bearish sentiment. And when I look at this chart, it's literally your classic example of the thing I always talk about, your A, B, C. And where did that C leg take us? Right onto the previous support. We're bouncing off of this. We're retesting these previous levels. In my opinion, you know, this thing is going to be going up a lot more. We could pull back here, but regardless, I believe that this next move is going to be taking us into the new all-time highs. This is the point of the cycle where the altcoins are set to massively outperform Bitcoin. They've been outperforming Bitcoin for a while. That's the reason I've been holding ETH in 2019 over holding more Bitcoin, is because ETH has outperformed it the entire time. Sure, it didn't outperform it a whole lot throughout this period, but it's still uptrending nonetheless. If I draw a trend line tool, why would you buy Bitcoin when you could buy ETH, when ETH has outperformed it since 2019? That's just my thoughts on the matter. But now that we're at this point, guys, we should expect to see a lot more upward growth happening inside of FBTC as well as the rest of the alts. Because if we come over here and actually take a look at the market cap dominance for Bitcoin, we can see here, guys, that it's followed very closely to the plan that I had. Now, in my last video, I pointed this out. I said that this looks a lot like what we saw in the last cycle where Bitcoin dominance had its first crash. We kind of pulled back here, and that's what set us up for, you know, our next two big moves in that cycle. Now, I just took that chart and overlaid it what we're seeing today, and guys, it's pretty much the same exact thing. There's not a whole lot of difference here. What we can see that we're doing right now is retesting a previous, once was support, now acting as resistance. This is a massive resistance block. Resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, all throughout this period, and we're literally rejecting off of it. In fact, we couldn't even come up and hit this box. We started rejecting even earlier than that. We've seen a number of different altcoins really starting to take off. I'm up over 10x off of my KuCoin investment. I'm up over 11x off of Constellation or D.I.Y. And these are just many of the altcoins that are popping off right now. I truly believe that Bitcoin dominance is about to fall to new lows. We're going to see even more money flood into the altcoins. We're going to see even more outperformance. And we're ultimately going to see Bitcoin dominance fall downwards of about 25 to 15% dominance. That's my target for the end of this cycle. That's what I think is happening. And we should expect to see a lot more outperformance inside of those alts. Now, one final chart, guys, before we wrap up this video. This is a chart that I've already shared with you. But this is actually how the run-up looked like in the last cycle. Almost the same exact type of price action here. During the last cycle, we made our first big break past the all-time highs, and it was this move right here. The first big move, and then we pulled back, right? So that's this move here. We made our first big run-up past the all-time highs, and then we had our first sell-off. Now, this would be the equivalent of this. Now, this sell-off is a little bit bigger than the first one that we had back here. I think the first one was about 40 to 50%. This one was about 65%. And so it is a little different, but not that different. It's pretty much the same type of thing, following the same time frame. And what we can see happened is after that first pullback, we ended up getting a quick rally back on the upside. We ended up breaking all-time highs, rejecting, and then pulling back to retest that previous all-time high as support. And then that's literally what took us into our final, you know, blow off top to end that bull run, right? That's how the last cycle stacked up. And guys, it's very much the same type of correlation as what we're seeing today. I mean, at the end of the day, this is what that last cycle looked like. This was the first pullback that we saw. Big run up, sharp pullback. Then we had the second run up, pull back again, and then that was what took us to our final blow off top. Now, I don't know if we're going to get this exact same type of price action. Maybe it'll look a little bit different. Maybe we just go straight into the blow off top next. I have no idea, but that's not what's important. What's important to understand here, guys, is where we are based off the last cycle. You know, this thing topped in about June of 2017. This one topped here at about April. Or May, I mean. So it's almost the same time frames here, and we should expect to see, you know, the majority of the profit be coming from this cycle. Keep in mind, guys, you know, I remember what this looked like in the last cycle. I remember this pullback, I lost a lot of money because that was a big pullback inside of the altcoins, similar to what we're seeing right now. I remember making all of this money on the leg up and then losing a bunch of it right back here. And it was in that time where I was really questioning if the bull market was really over or if they were going to end up going up again. I ended up holding, I ended up sticking to it, and that's exactly what ended up happening. And so, guys, there's really no reason to be super shaken out right now. Yes, you could have lost a lot of your profit, your unrealized gains, or you bought the top and, you know, are just down a lot in general. The same people made the same mistake in the last cycle, and I can guarantee you guys, if you would have bought the exact top here, you would have been very, very happy with whatever profit you were able to cash out here or even here, wherever the heck it was. This type of move here, you know, it doesn't matter. The short-term price action, because we're at such a low point in the cycle, it doesn't matter. Because what we will expect to see on the upside once we actually go up much higher again, it's going to be way, way, way bigger. There's going to be so much more money, more than you could ever even expect possible. And this is the point where we've literally geared our entire foundational piece. We've been investing, we've been dollar cost averaging, we've been building this foundation for this exact moment in time. The next 6 months will be the ones where we make the most money, and we just want to make sure that we're ready, prepared for that. We're not making too many mistakes, and we're prepared to sell at the end of the year. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you found value in this, always remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos. On top of that, if you guys want to join the Discord server, or if you guys want to download my free ebook, links are in the description to go ahead and do that. You guys can also purchase my video course or signals for the people that want to follow my investments, follow all the trades that I take. Links are also in the description for that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And with all that being said, I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.